The time is now, right now. That's why I came on earlier saying that inshallah don't mean later, after the convention is over and you say, oh man, we should have supported them. Don't say woulda, coulda, shoulda. The time is now. You should tell your children all the time. You should just walk around your house saying it. You want money? Money's a byproduct of service. Increase the service that you can provide to your fellow man and woman. Increase your services you provide to your mom and your daddy in your own house. And you might get a couple of dollars when you need a couple of dollars. Increase your ability to serve. Don't go after money, go after service. We used to be a community of service. And the community, the outer community, the people that don't know Muslims, that aren't Muslims, they waiting on us to come back. They see us dead in the grave. We used to go out and get the dead. Now they see us laying next to the dead. What we doing laying next to the dead? The Mosque as minister of Imam Deen Mohammed is not something that was ever intended to be divided. So let's not do that. Let's stay unified and let's trust in our leader. We're a community. We're one. We were always one. We're not divided, and we've never been divided. Now others come up as imposters, mimicking and acting like they something. But we should know the difference between the community that we love from the community that's only attempting to mimic what we love and doing a poor job. Remember that we're Muslims and we're held accountable for a certain character and certain behavior, and remind our children and our families that they're accountable. Your character as a believer as in Allah and a follower of Muhammad the Prophet is not a dress that you can take off when it's time to go do something else. And we should encourage our children to keep that good dress on so that we can continue to receive the mercy of God and his favor. Because anyone that's a believer and that seeks out the pleasure of God and righteous behavior, good, clean behavior, knows the benefit of it, that is priceless. Today, as a people, there's so many things that are being used, the African-American face and the culture. Imam Muhammad, when hip hop was kind of that type of culture, I'm not to condemn hip hop, but there was a culture going on maybe about 20 years ago in the African-American community that made us kind of look kind of goofy like clowns. But it was, nonetheless, it was a culture that was coming from the grassroots up. But we have to realize that that same culture that came out, the reason why Imam Muhammad mentioned he didn't associate it with hip hop, but he associated with African-American people, us as being America's clown. Now we don't see ourselves as America's clown anymore, because due to the certain events and things that happen, that African-American people, one of them is a Black African-American president for the first time in the history of our country, President Barack Obama. And he said, Imam Muhammad predicted that things would change after that event. So we're not, thank Allah, we're not viewed just for the comic relief. We're actually respected and used and trusted by the American public. And I'm not saying things just off the top of my head. This ain't a feeling I got in my gut. This is an observation that I've made, that we are the face of many products and many things that America, capitalism, wants to convince the rest of Americans that this is good for all Americans. Most of what's pop culture is the culture of the African-American people. That pop culture is really on the backs of us as a people. And as we know, to make a long story short, to keep from, spoon feeding this, Imam Muhammad said that whoever controls your culture controls your future. We have to wake up the mind of the people. We have to establish ourselves from the grassroots level. Because the Quran is a book of inspiration. It inspires the human being to live out the potential of the excellence that God created in you. We have to see our youngsters change their mind about what the value of money is. Is it really money that I need, or is it service to myself first? Like when you get out of bed, you need to grab a toothbrush, a rag, and some water, and some soap if you got some. Clean yourself up. Go find you some healthy food to eat that's going to carry you. Eat your apple or something, get you through the next few hours before you eat another snack at lunch. We have to teach this to our children. We have to teach them that what can I do to earn me the most money? And then if I'm not educated and I can't earn a good earning from the skills that mom and daddy gave me, then I need to stay in school and learn a skill or learn a trade or go out and work with a person older than me from maybe my big brother. Or maybe I need to go to work with daddy sometime and learn his skills and then open me a business doing the things that I learned from people close to me. The logic says that once I make myself healthy and clean and eating good meals and feeding, then I should have a concern for my community. Then I need to find a wife so that we as a family can support the issues we have in our community. They're not going to teach our children this in school. They're going to teach our children, hey, you get a job. You go to school, you get you a job. What about serving our community? What about, instead of whining and crying, going to the government, asking them for a handout or asking them to help us in our situation when we could have helped ourselves in our situation by allowing our brothers and sisters to do business with one another, or to actually build business, or actually sit down and think and talk about something that's actually going to stimulate the intellect to make us better people, to make us a better community and better for the society at large. This is what Imam Muhammad taught. This is what Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. This is not only what they taught, guess what? They put it into action. But you ain't going to read about it in no newspaper. You ain't going to pick up a book and find it, because the people that benefited from him most went out and said, hey, I can do the same thing Imam did. All I need is people to follow me. Imam Muhammad never asked people to follow him. He asked them to follow Muhammad the Prophet, and he asked them to obey God and obey his messenger.